Hello everyone, welcome back to ErikaBuilds and another Sims 4 speed build. I am very happy to announce that I have received my computer upgrade parts and I have installed them and they are working. So this video hopefully will be much better, especially the last video I made. I apologize again for the horrible audio issues with that. Basically, long story short, I didn't have enough RAM in my computer. And so when I would try to edit videos in Adobe, they would constantly be glitching and freezing. And even if I played them back in like half the quality or whatever, like everything just kept locking up on me. It was just terrible. And then when I would try to do the voiceovers, the videos would glitch and that would cause the audio to glitch, and I wouldn't even know it had happened until after it was all rendered and everything. So anyway, it was a nightmare. I really seriously didn't know like what I was going to do to fix it. But luckily, just like doing some research online, I figured out, that it was probably a RAM issue. And so now I have 32 gigabytes of RAM and my Adobe is running great. My Sims game is running great. So fingers crossed that it stays like that. So anyway, let me tell you about this build. This house, is a recreation of a real house. I found the picture on Instagram. I'm showing it to you now. I really liked this house when I saw it, scrolling through my Instagram, just looking at different floor plans and houses and stuff, because that's what I do when I'm trying to get building ideas. And I had a DM from someone, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, who had told me they would like to see a house in the style of like Europe, or maybe it was the UK or England. I'm not really sure. I can't remember exactly what the DM said, but it got me thinking that I really should try to branch out away from like the traditional American suburban homes and the craftsman style and everything that I normally do. The problem is I've never been to Europe, and I don't really feel like knowledgeable in recreating any sort of like European styles of architecture or building. So I was very intimidated by that. And so this house was actually on an American architectural website. So it's an American house, but it has kind of like European influences and styles. And I thought that would be a good starting point for me, because I love the look of Windenburg and I love the idea of building houses maybe from like every country. I think that would be so fun. Last year I did do a Spanish house. I had some help from one of my best friends who lives in Spain, and she gave me some advice and some tips. But really, other than that, most of the houses that I build are just plain old American houses. So you'll have to let me know what you think of this one, and if you think that I was able to capture some of these European type of style ideas. I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. So I welcome the feedback on that. So when I got started on this house, there were a couple of things that I knew right off the bat. Number one, I knew I was going to use windows from Get Together, because these windows are really perfect for Windenburg, which is the world that I'm building this in. And then, of course, I knew that I was going to use stone because the real house that I was recreating was also stone. But other than that, I really wasn't sure exactly how it was going to turn out. As you can see here, the real house had a 4-car garage. And after I built that, I was like, this is too much. Like, I'm not gonna make a 4-car garage because number one, we don't even have working cars. So why would this family need 4 cars? So I decided to get rid of the other garage and turn it into living space, and just kept the 2-car garage that you're seeing there on the right side of the screen. And this is a 1-story home. And so I wasn't really sure how big it was going to be, like as far as how many bedrooms it was going to have. But actually, it turned out to have 4 bedrooms, which was kind of surprising because I didn't really feel like the house was really that big. But it was a little, I guess, bigger than I realized. And so as I started floor planning, you see I just did a little time jump there where I was working on the floor planning. And it did end up having 4 bedrooms. So you've got the master bedroom on the left, and then the other 3 bedrooms are kind of more on the right side by the garage. So yeah, this house, of course, uses all packs. Like I always say, I use all packs freely when I build, except I did not use Eco Lifestyle, even though the pack did come out while I was working on this house, and it was tempting to get in there and use some of the new, especially for like plants and stuff. It was very tempting to go in and use the new pack. I decided not to because I really want to do a proper eco lifestyle build as my kind of my first experience with that pack. And so I resisted the urge to use any of the new items, which was hard. But I think in the end, it worked out better this way for a couple of reasons. Number one, with this sort of like Windenburg home, I just felt like most of the eco lifestyle items really didn't fit this type of house anyway. So the only thing that maybe I could have used would have been a couple of the shelves and the plants. But even for those, they're very contemporary. So yeah, this house is pretty much all made with Get Together and Base Game. Of course, like I said, I use all packs. So when it comes to clutter and decor, I do use things from other packs. But if you download this house, if you have Base Game and Get Together, and really those are probably the main 2. I'm trying to think of what else I used a lot of. I didn't really use a lot of seasons. I did use some stuff from like the kids stuff pack. But other than that, Base Game and Get Together really are the main packs in this build. This kitchen that you're seeing me work on, this is all Base Game. And the wallpaper that I use in here is from Parenthood. So there is some Parenthood stuff in this house, but for the most part, it's got limited, I think, as far as like the packs that I used for like the main furnishing of like cabinets and tables and couches and beds and stuff. I think all the beds are actually Base Game because they really capture that sort of Windenburg sort of look that I wanted. And I would say that the floor plan of this house is still very American because that's where I live and that's what I'm familiar with. So that's why I said I would not call this like a European house. It's more of an American house, with just some European influences. So with this floor plan in this main part of the house, it is kind of an open floor plan. So the kitchen, dining room, and living room are all in one big room together. I've mentioned many times before on the channel that I'm a huge fan of open floor plans in real life and in The Sims. For me, I just find it a lot easier for gameplay, especially if you like to, record your Sims or take photos of your Sims. I feel like it's way easier to do when you have a large room like this, because I don't like to play with walls down. I always play with walls up. And so, yeah, I just feel like this kind of open space is really nice because you can see your Sims and see everything that they're doing. And so there's a bar here that separates the kitchen from the dining area. And I was struggling here for a minute trying to find stools. The only thing that kind of bugs me about working with base game and get together is that there's a million swatches of brown, but I feel like none of the browns are the same, are the same. And so as I'm, choosing the cabinets and the bar stools and the dining room set and the living room set, it's all brown, but it's all different shades of brown. So it bothers my matchy match problem that I have. I've told you guys, I've admitted to you guys many times how I'm very obsessed with matching. So it's a little bit hard for me to give up on the browns all being the same, but it's okay because I feel like they're all sort of darker browns, darker shades of brown. And so I feel like they blend fairly well. And even with the cabinets, like I always feel like the upper cabinets and the lower cabinets look just slightly different than the bar and the bar stools. But these are very nitpicky things that probably most people don't stress about. And so I, have to kind of overcome my own issues with the matching. And so over here in the little living room area, there is a fireplace, and I used a couple bookcases there to kind of make like a little entertainment center wall unit thingy. This is the low ceiling height, and so I can't use any of the really tall bookcases, so I have to make sure I use the ones that will actually fit on this lower ceiling height. And then here you see I'm working on the little dining area, which is a little bit different for me because usually with a house like this, I would do like a formal dining room. But I don't know, I kind of liked how the dining area was just open here to the kitchen, and it's just a little bit different maybe than what I would usually do. But I don't know, I kind of liked how the windows here overlooked the yard and everything, and I just thought it made for a nice little place to have the dining set. And then when it came time to choose the windows, the curtains that would fit these windows, didn't really have a lot of options on this low ceiling height. So I went with these green ones just because I felt like it matched several things. I felt like it matched the tile in the kitchen and also the seat cushions for the bar stools. And then here in a minute, you'll see that it also matches the couches that I chose. So that was very deliberate. Anytime I'm working on a big open floor plan, I like everything to match within that big open space. So even though they are sort of divided there between kitchen, dining room, living room, since you can see everything at the same time, I just like everything to coordinate. So here I am now working in the kitchen, just typical kitchen type decor that I would usually use for family homes. I was kind of bummed that we didn't get any new kitchen cabinets or kitchen appliances with this pack, because I feel like we really haven't had any new cabinets in a long time. We did get some with Realm of Magic, but they didn't have any upper cabinets. Same with Island Living. They just had those upper shelves. They didn't really come with full upper cabinets. So I feel like it's been forever since we had a full set of new kitchen cabinets. So hopefully maybe in a future pack this year, we will see some more new kitchen stuff. A lot of our kitchen appliances in the game are very modern. It's funny because we have these two base game stoves. We have this one that I use, which is the kind of typical stainless steel. And then we have that very old fashioned cast iron stove. And then all the other appliances from all the other packs, I feel like are very modern. So when working with houses like this, I don't really feel like we have a lot of options when it comes to appliances. So yeah, again, new cabinets, new appliances. I would be very excited to hopefully have some of those in the near future. I did give this family items for a dog. So I put like a little dog food dish here, and then there's a pet bed in the master bedroom. And then over here in the living room area, this rug, I believe, is from Get Famous or Strangerville? I think it's from Get Famous, if I'm remembering correctly. I like it because it's kind of worn out and old, which I kind of felt like matched this whole theme of the house. I liked to think that this house had some furniture in it that was maybe inherited or antique style, so it kind of has a little bit of an older vibe to it. Here you're seeing a good example of how the woods are not the same brown, which is hard for me to deal with, but it's okay that they're not the same. At least the greens match really nicely. So we'll focus on that and not pay attention to the browns. But the thing is, the way it all kind of ties together, and I think the reason why I got away with it is because this Parenthood wallpaper has the lighter brown wainscoting, which I didn't have a choice. I had to use that because it's the only kind that would match the kitchen tile. So I think that did help give some continuity between the darker brown woods and the lighter brown woods. This front door is from Get Together, and that little coat shelf, cloak closet, what do you call that? I don't even know. That's from Seasons. So yeah, typical entryway with all the things that you would expect to see. The exterior of that entryway has also its own little sort of alcove area that's like a stone alcove where there's an outdoor bench and there's a little fountain with some plants. And so that was kind of fun to work on, a little bit different than the way I would usually do a front porch. And then here I'm just adding a big stereo. I feel like this always looks kind of old-fashioned and antique-y, so I liked the way it looked with this other furniture that I had picked out. And then I did a little bit of a time skip here, and I skipped over working on the hallway because it wasn't very exciting. But basically for the hallway, I just did like a couple of hallway tables and like a backpack area that's by the garage. And I did like a little, what do you call, like a little stool area. Other than that, it wasn't very exciting, so I just cut that out. And this room that you see me working on now is the family office, which I think is, good for pretty much anyone in the family that wants to use a computer, or it could be good for a freelance career if your sim works from home, because it definitely has, a nice workspace. And again, a lot of this furniture in here is base game mixed with Get Together, and lots of wood, lots of brown, lots of dark woods. The house definitely has a very warm, very rustic sort of feeling. I think this house would look really nice if you're playing in the fall or the winter. I could totally see this house sitting, in the snow, or maybe even decorated for Christmas. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit darker than the kind of springy stuff that I've been doing lately. I did not record myself working on the yard or the landscaping, but just to tell you a little bit about it, the yard does have quite a bit of landscaping around the front, not too much around the back, because the back is pretty much taken up by the pool and a little small gardening area and a swing set. But actually there's still quite a bit of room left in the backyard if you want to add more activities, or if you want to fence it in or something, you would have plenty of space for that. And then around back there is, you can kind of see it there on the side of the screen. There's a large deck area with a grill and an outdoor dining set. So the family can eat inside or outside. And now here I'm working on the master bedroom. Again, lots of base game in here. I like this bed because I feel like the headboard and footboard are very, they kind of give that olden look, that sort of antique-y look like I was talking about earlier, which I think really goes well with a house like this, you know, with it being maybe like some furniture that they, you know, had inherited from other family, or, you know, gotten at a flea market, or I don't know. It just kind of has that more vintage look to it. And it looks very yellow right now, but I will adjust the lights at the end so that it's not quite this yellow. And just to remind you, if you download one of my houses from the gallery and place it, you know, for your Sims family, once somebody occupies the house and you actually go in to play in the house in live mode, you can adjust the color of these lights to, you know, if you like more of a bright white, or if you like this kind of default setting, which is a very golden sort of color, you can adjust that once you're in live mode. You just can't adjust it in build mode. So that's why sometimes you'll see me switch back and forth between build mode and live mode, because I'm adjusting those lights. Because even during the building process, I kind of like to play around with the lighting color just so I can see what the room is actually going to look like. Here, you can just see I just now changed it. I didn't go to the brightest white. I just went down one shade from bright white. So it has still sort of a little bit of a golden color, but not that real super yellowy one that's the default lighting color. Because I feel like in a house like this, when you're dealing with a lot of dark brown and these warm tones and stuff, it kind of looks nice to use a little bit of a warmer light. Then obviously, you know, just exactly the opposite when I'm working on anything that's like contemporary, or if I'm working on like something like with a lot of black and white, then I usually always change the lighting color to the bright white, and it just looks so much better. This master bedroom is pretty large. They have, you know, all the typical stuff. There's a dresser and a full-length mirror. There's a bookcase. There's a reading chair and various artwork and things. I put the pet bed in here as well. And of course, the master has its own bathroom. The bathroom I did with the plumbing set from Get Together. I started out with this set from Base Game because I kind of like the old-fashioned look of this clawfoot tub, but I just wasn't really liking the sink option or the toilet option that went with that tub in order to get the same color of the faucet. Because I've told you guys before, I've admitted that I'm one of those people that I will notice, you know, if the sink and the tub and the toilet handle aren't all the same type of like fixture. I don't know. It's just one of those little things that I notice. And so I liked the faucets on this plumbing set from Get Together much better. And I did double sinks in here with a tub and no shower. But there is a shower in the other bedroom. Like I said before, bathroom. Like I said before, this is a 2-bathroom house. So you do have 2 bathtubs and 1 shower. The main reason why I did that is I just really didn't want to take up the extra space here with having the shower in the master, because I really wanted to have these double sinks and kind of make this whole wall with these, sort of like vintage mirrors, and then the cabinet in between. I just kind of had that in my mind that I wanted to do that. And so I didn't have enough room for a shower. But this, I think, definitely kind of has that same sort of Windenburg vibe to it, just because of all the brown and just kind of the way it's very warm and sticking to all the same colors. This house definitely, I think, has sort of like an overall theme of Windenburg and a little bit of European influence, but still pretty much, my typical Americanized family home. Yeah, so I'm just getting ready to move this rug, which I believe that rug is from the Vampire pack. I don't typically use a lot of stuff from that pack, but I did really like the color of that rug because I felt like it matched the bed really nicely. And I always kind of like my master bedroom and master bedroom bathroom to coordinate. Okay, so now we're down here where the kids' rooms are. And for this first kid, I decided to do kind of like a toddler room, but a baby's room all together. And I've done these before, but I hadn't done one in a while. And people have really responded to them that they like them a lot. So basically what it is it's a room that has the bassinet and like little changing table area and everything for the family that has a baby. But then it also has the toddler bed and toddler tablet and building blocks and dollhouse and all of that toddler stuff, so that you won't have to change the room. So if your family has a baby or is expecting a baby, this room will be good for that. And then when you're ready to age them up to a toddler, the room is good for that. So it's baby toddler combo room. I'm using, again, lots of dark brown in here. And for making the changing table, I took 2 of these little bedside tables and stuck them together and kind of made it look a little bit like a chest or like a bureau, because this kid stuff pack does not come with like a long bureau style dresser. It only has these tall ones. And so I stuck 2 of those together, and then I just raised this little bench up and with the 9 key until it looked like a little changing table pad sort of in between the 2 dressers. And then I did a little shelf with like a baby bottle and some little towels that I always think kind of remind me of burp rags or cloth diapers. And I'm just trying to kind of give the appearance that this is where you would change the baby's diapers and stuff, even though, of course, we don't do that in The Sims because our babies are basically just a piece of furniture. But someday maybe they will actually be real human babies. I don't know, where they actually will have interactions like changing diapers and stuff, which would be cool. I mean, when you're talking about simulating, the different stages of life, I think the baby stage is significant enough to deserve its own, representation in The Sims. So we'll see if maybe one day that will happen. So then on the other side of the room, you'll see here is the toddler bed and all the little toddler activities and everything they need, toy box and building blocks and everything toddler related. This is, again, mostly base game. There's a few things in here from the kids stuff pack, but really I'm not using a ton of packs in this build. The wallpaper is base game. I believe the bed is as well. We did get a new toddler bed in Eco Lifestyle. I haven't really looked at it up close, but from what I saw, it looked really cute. It has like a canopy over it, and it just looked really interesting. I'm not really sure even how to classify this new furniture that we got because I guess when I was thinking of eco lifestyle, I was thinking everything would be a little more sort of rustic, where it looks like it's made, like handmade. But I feel like most of the furniture is very ultra modern and very contemporary. And like the bathroom set that we got is, I don't even know what it is. It's like, it looks space age or something. It's super, super modern. So that was kind of surprising. We have so much modern furniture now. I really, really hope that the next pack we get is something rustic, or more traditional, or well, maybe we have enough traditional, but we definitely don't have enough rustic because the furniture that we got with outdoor retreat, I really don't like it. And it's really not good. It really only has one purpose if you're building like a log cabin. So I don't even really count it as usable like family home furniture. So yeah, I want to see more rustic furniture. And we had that they emailed everyone, that questionnaire. It was like a questionnaire or something last year about having like a ski resort Sims expansion. And they were asking us about skiing and snowboarding and all of that. And I thought, oh, this is going to be my dream pack. Not because of skiing, but because of the furniture. Because I was just imagining sort of like this Colorado inspired like mountain home sort of like furniture, and that would be amazing. First of all, I would have to go through and refurnish all my Colorado inspired houses that I did last year. Because I told you guys before, I used to live in Colorado and I have just a real great love for the architecture and the design and the look of all of that kind of, not just Colorado, but also the Pacific Northwest. I just really like the looks of that kind of furniture. So if we end up getting that, that would be super cool. Anyway, I'm not talking about the build. This kid's bedroom, which is right next to the toddler, it's just kind of a generic kid's room. I wasn't thinking of any particular type of kid or type of personality or anything. It just has like a desk and a bookcase. Oh, I did put an electric keyboard in this room, so I guess maybe this is a musically inclined kid, or it could be a teen, I guess. I did put some toys in here though, so probably more for a child than it would be for a teen. Lots of dark wood. Again, it's not all exactly the same, but I feel like the bed and the bedside table and the desk are all the same. I think those are all base game. And then this bookcase that I used, I think it's from Discover University. It's not quite dark enough to match the desk, but I just really like the look of it. I just feel like it looks more like the type of bookcase you would see in a kid's room. And so that's why I decided to go ahead and use it, even though it was a little bit lighter. And over here is then where I put the chest and the keyboard I was telling you about. And there's like a toy chest and some stuffed animals and toys and stuff on the floor. Yeah, so kind of your typical kid's room. This wallpaper is also base game, but this wainscoting is the same really as the flooring, so it has a nice coordinating sort of design there. Here's where I'm pulling out that keyboard. I'm trying to think if there's any other musical instruments. I don't think I gave anyone a guitar. I feel like I always give someone a guitar, but I don't think I did in this house, just the keyboard. And then I like this little wall decor with the music, sort of like flyers and music programs and stuff that are pinned up. So I was thinking maybe this kid has saved like all their old music programs and stuff from their performances and tacked them up over their keyboard. And yeah, so maybe this kid, I guess, is a musician type of personality. And then over here, I'm just cluttering up this bookcase and just finishing this room up. The last bedroom that you're going to see here, I ended up just making it sort of a generic guest room because I didn't really have any good ideas for what to do with this room. So you could use it for a teen or an adult child or a grandma, or even if you have like a live-in maid or something, I don't know. Really, you could use it for just about any type of person. Maybe there's an aunt or an uncle who lives here with the family. It's just an extra bedroom that could really be used for anything or anyone. Basically, because I just ran out of ideas. Oh, you can kind of see over here on the right side of the screen the garage. I didn't record myself working on that, but basically, it's just a 2-car garage. There's laundry machines out there and a wash tub, and then there's a door that goes to the backyard that's closer to the pool. So yeah, that's about it for this build. I hope you guys like it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And I'm guessing probably the next video I put up will probably be eco lifestyles. I don't really know for sure yet what I'm gonna build. I don't think I'm gonna do a container home. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Maybe just a very contemporary house. I don't know. Stay tuned to see how that turns out. And if you have any ideas of things that you would like to see me build, leave them in the comments. I'm always looking for ideas. I know I had a poll last week on what you guys wanted to see me build, and it was like equally spaced for all the voting. But a lot of people had chosen community lot, but they didn't mention what type. So if you have an idea for that, let me know. And yeah, that's going to do it for today. I hope everyone is well and safe and staying healthy. And yeah, I will see you all again next time. Have a great rest of the week. Bye-bye.